This session we continue the applications of decision science for operations management. As you remember, last week we did together a marketing application, and this week we will do financial planning. To get the point about financial planning better, we do it through a series of activities. And just please remember, as I have mentioned it before, to avoid making long, empty videos, I'm not gonna wait for you to think or answer on the recording. So the video continues smoothly, but you please, whenever I explain the activity and I give you all the guidances and elaborations needed, please pause the video at that moment and at your pace put enough money on the activity until you get the answer. And after that, you can unpause it and continue with that. In that situation, we will have well-made videos that they are of not long lengths and empty and waiting without sound or anything. So please, you control the pace of the video you are checking. So about the financial planning, it is considered one of the general applications of decision science. Why it is considered general? In future, very soon, you will consider some of the more specific and technical applications of decision science. Even last week, when we did together a marketing application, it is considered a general purpose type of applications, because as you read it, you noticed you have a good understanding of everything that is discussed in that case. Here for financial planning, exactly the same thing. We all have had financial planning, because when your decision gonna affect not only now, also the future, it is called planning. And when it is related to finance, when it is related to money, it is considered financial planning. To make the idea better understood by you, we are gonna do some activities together, and so please don't check the answer on the next slide, because the PowerPoint is also uploaded with all the answers on Canvas. And please don't check the answer on the next slide, or don't go with the video to quickly see the answer. If you are struggling with it, if you are struggling with understanding the problem, if you are struggling to get the answer, pause the video over there, no rush, at your pace, read and prepare yourself. Okay, for activity 1, it says you are supposed to make a one-time deposit now to cover your costs for the following 5 years. How much must be deposited? The point about this question is that there is no income, there is no interest, and you have some expenses, costs during the following 5 years, and now you are gonna deposit some money for to cover all the costs over there. I agree with you. It seems super simple, but it is very good start to get the idea about financial planning. So as you can see in the slide in front of you, here we have 5 years. In year 1, the cost is 100, year 2 cost 100, 3, 4, and 5, 100. There is no income, there is no interest, nothing, and it says if you want to deposit money now to cover all the expenses for the following 5 years, how much you will deposit. Okay, the answer is 500. 500 is the answer. Because when you have 500, when you deposit it after year 1, that the cost is 100, you would have 400 deposit. After year 2, you have 300. Year 3, you have 200. Year 4, 100. This remaining money at the end of year 4 will be used to cover the $100 cost of year 5. So finally, you would be fine while your deposit turns to 0. It was some sort of very easy financial planning. So the answer, as you did, is 500. Let's go to the next example. You are supposed to make a one-time deposit exactly similar to the previous one now to cover your costs for the following 5 years. So far, everything is similar to the previous one. It says your annual income is 20. How much must be deposited? So for this activity, the difference is that you also have income. How much you are gonna put for this at the beginning? Okay, the answer would be 400. Because the total cost you have during these 5 years would be 500, and the total income you have during these 5 years would be 100. So how much money you need to put? You need to put 400. Let's check it how it happens about the deposit. See, for cost, everything is the same as before. But here you also have income that I'm gonna put them here. You have for each year. $20, as you can see. And in that way, it is easier. In that way, it is going to be the same way for all the 5 years. Okay, so in this situation, you have $100 cost for each year and you have 20 income. So how much would be the amount of money you will need to use from the deposit for year 1? 80. Correct. And this 80 repeats itself for 5 years. So when you need $80 for each year, the total amount of money you need to have as deposit at the beginning to cover all your expenses would be 400 bucks. Activity 3. You are supposed to make a one-time deposit now to cover your cost for the following 5 years. So everything similar to the previous one. Because of the initial deposit, the bank pays you fixed interest of 20 annually. How much must be the deposit? Pay attention, my friend. It's move forward very carefully to make sure you get all the points. For this question, again, there is no income out of like the one we had with activity 2. It just, in a delicate way, substitute $20 of income that mentioned in the previous one with interest that is being paid by bank. It means that at the beginning you are put some money over there, and the bank pays you $20 as interest yet. Interest for the money that you are putting. How much money you are gonna put? Okay, you should consider it exactly the same as the previous activity that we discussed, and I can tell you the answer is, the reason for this halt or hesitation to give you the answer is to give you time to pause the video so you can think about it, get your answer before you hear the answer from me. Okay, the answer is similar to the previous one. It is again 400, because no matter the income that we have is income from, for example, tutoring, or it is the income from the interest. So 100 is the fixed expenses that we have, and here again we have some incomes, and the incomes that we have are coming from the interest that the bank is paying us. So we have this situation, as you can see in the video. So for each year, the net amount of money that we need is 80. So what is the total amount of money that we need to deposit? It is $400. Because when it is $400 on each year, you are gonna deduct $80 from each one, and in this way, after 5 years, the deposit turns to 0, while we encountered no shortage of money. Okay, so activity, okay, now here we have a typo, activity 4. Okay, if you deposit $1,000 in a bank with annual interest rate of 4%, what is the cash flow for 5 years if you withdraw the interest annually as well as deposit after 5 years? So see what it is asking you. It is asking you about, you are putting a deposit in a bank and the annual interest rate is 4%. Now it asks you about the cash flow. Cash flow, it says that, okay, how much you will have or how much you will lose, what is your income or what is your expenses at the end of year 1, at the end of year 2, at the end of year 3, at the end of year 4, at the end of year 5. But remember, here it's telling you what is the cash flow for 5 years if you withdraw the interest rate annually. It means that when you get the interest, you don't leave the interest to stay in bank, you get it out. So it says, if it is the case, what is the cash flow and how much would be the deposit after 5 years? Please put a good time on this question, my friends, and for this you need to draw a table for year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and do some math.